As always, I'm going to check on audio. I never get this right. Still learning. I never get this right. Still learning. Hello. I think this is better. Check. 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 Hello. I think. I gotta check on something here because I noticed on my live stream um, I noticed that there were viewers that were sending messages on the chat on the vertical version of the stream, and I didn't notice that until after. So let me see if this time I can get it right. If you write on the chat and I don't respond, it might be because you are on the vertical stream. So right now I'm streaming on horizontal and vertical. I just want to see. Maybe if I go to the YouTube Studio. Let's check it out. Okay, there you go. I think this is it. Now I can see the chat on both horizontal and vertical. See how it goes. Okay, in case anybody out there is watching, again, I'm still learning. I don't know if I can see anybody on the chat, the number of people. But this is a conversation. I have nothing to teach. Actually, I like to learn. If you have something to teach me, I have an open mind. I'm a human being just like you, looking for answers. Let me double check that the audio, yes, I think it's fine. Yeah, I'm looking for answers just like you are about this life, about what we're doing here on this earth. if we have a purpose, if we have something specific that we have to do. If you have not heard my videos from before, I used to be a believer, a blind believer in the God of the Bible, until I made the terrible mistake of starting to read the Bible in depth. I think that was one of my errors, because then I started to see things and to read things that I never read before. And I also always have had a analytical mind. I always like to understand things. I don't like to just be told something and I just take it like, I accept it. No, I like to understand things. If there is a God, He gave me an analytical mind. I like to understand things. I think that's partially also, in case you haven't heard me saying on other videos, I make software. Part of the things that I do, softwares, apps, I program. I think that's one of the reasons I call myself a doubter. Because just like you, if you're a believer, I can also see that there seems to be design, intelligence behind everything. Like, for example, the eye, it adjusts to light. It's hard to believe that is done by randomly, that it was just done by accident. It's hard to believe that. In my specific case, it is just that I don't think that intelligence behind that eye movement is the God of the Bible. That's it. I think that if there is a God, is way more intelligent and smarter than the God of the Bible. Okay? For me, please don't be offended, okay, by my expressing my way of thinking to you honestly. I think it's very emotional, the God of the Bible. Always seems to be upset about something, gets offended very easily. So that's one of the reasons why I named this live stream Proof of the God of the Bible. Just in case you are listening in a live stream, I'll be happy to hear just one proof that the God mentioned in one book called the Bible is the one that created you, me, and everything else in the universe. Or if you prefer, you can direct me towards proof that there's even a God. And maybe that proof also guide us and direct us to one God, and that there are not two gods or three gods or a number of gods that created humans and the universe. So just in case you want to have a conversation, if you're a believer in the God of the Bible, you can mention just one. I'm not asking for 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons or proof. Just one. If you're not able to think of one right now, I ask you, for what purpose do you believe specifically in the God from one book and not from the other books? What's the reason behind you believing that the God mentioned in one book from other books, that book is real, alive, and that you probably have a personal relationship with this God mentioned in this book. I notice on some of my videos when I talk like this, openly and transparently, I notice that some people don't like it. And it's understandable because what I'm saying shakes the foundation of the emotional attachment that someone has with the information on a specific book. In this case, we're talking about the Bible. What I'm saying with that is that someone feels good with the God mentioned in the Bible, and me saying something negative about that God mentioned in the Bible makes the person don't feel too good, and people don't like that. One of the things that you will find is that a person that believes in a God normally, and mainly does it on an emotional state. That's why it's very hard to have a dialogue or a debate with a believer, because the person that believes doesn't do it on a psychological level, a mind level. It does it mainly in a feeling level, emotions. And it's very hard to debate with emotions. I have been offered to participate in debates. One or two, okay, not that many. And I have said that I'm not interested because I can tell the person is not interested in having a debate, having a conversation, but just to prove blindly that the God that the person believes in is real. And yeah, myself, I don't like to waste my time on that or try to prove how smart I am and knowledgeable, and trying to force someone to let go of their God. No, not forcing anybody. This is not the purpose of my channel. The purpose of my channel, the purpose of my videos is to do the opposite, mainly from people that talk about any God. Why? Because I think the belief in gods is one of the biggest problems we have as humanity. Believing in gods I think is by default will bring separation. Okay, because when you present a God to a group of people, you will create division immediately, because there will always be people that believe and don't believe. If you have heard my videos, I always say the same thing. So I know this is not a very attractive subject. I think that's probably one of the reasons that my live streams are always empty. People are not interested in this kind of subject. It's pretty much leave me alone with my God. I'm happy with my God, and I don't care about anything that you have to say. Not even when I'm saying that the belief in any God, including the God of the Bible, the long run will not bring anything good on a personal level, in society, in a country, and for humanity. Starting from what I just said, that introducing a God to a society will separate that society between believers and not believers, and the believers will continue to divide among themselves, making their own versions of gods. So put a God into a society, You're going to bring conflict. That explains why some countries that have strong beliefs in any God have very strong conflicts. Because with gods, any God, there's a lot of emotional charge. People's happiness, stability depends on the belief on one particular God. You threaten that belief, you take that person's belief, they're not gonna like it because you're attempting against their well-being, emotional. Like I mentioned on my, I see an error message. Keyframe. I don't know what that is. Seems to be running. Like I mentioned on my videos, and you're gonna hear me say on this channel, I believe, I could be wrong, that believing in God has nothing to do with believing in God, and has everything to do with your feelings, how you feel about the particular God that you believe in. I will be very interested in listening to someone that can provide at least me with a piece of information that I could say, you know what, I never thought about that, you know. You make me think, maybe there's a God because of what you just said. I'm not trying to block and to be opposed. I am upset with a God or any God. No. It feels very lonely to not see gods, you know, like the God of the Bible. I don't see it. It makes absolutely no sense to me. If there's a God, I truly hope it's not like the God of the Bible, because he seems to be very bothered by anything and can get very violent. I don't like it. You might get offended from what I say, but man, first time I see a comment in one of my live streams, Team Negro, hola, saludos. So, yeah, I don't like this God in particular. Actually, I don't like any God. If there's a God, for me, is the one that seems to have intelligence and design in everything. Like I said, I see design in life. There's stuff that I do not understand, but to think about the human body, how the eye opens and closes, how the hand moves, ligaments and stuff like that, it seems to be a design. It's just that I do not see the connection between this intelligence in our bodies, for example, and the God of the Bible. I don't see it. And all those people in the internet, especially in YouTube, saying there's plenty of evidence for the God of the Bible, they're lying. There's none. Because if there was enough evidence of the God of the Bible, there would be no necessity for debate. I wouldn't be making these videos. So, yeah, there's plenty of evidence of the God of the Bible. It's a humongous lie. It's just, in a way, it's preaching. In another way, is wishful thinking. No offense to you. Please don't feel offended from what I'm saying. I feel that I'm being honest, at least with myself, and I'm sharing with you my thoughts about the specific God in one book, the God of the Bible. I have an open channel, an open Kayla Fajardo 3039. Hi, hola. ¿Cómo estás? yeah, I have this open live stream just to have a conversation with anybody out there that could present any piece of information that could make me at least think about the possibility that there is a God, or the God of the Bible is real. But I have made many videos talking about God, and nobody presents any information or evidence. Saludos, saludos. Yeah, so this live stream says proof of the God of the Bible. If you can give me one piece of information that will make me think or suspect that there's a possibility that the God mentioned in that particular book named the Bible is the one that created us and created the universe. In yesterday's live stream, I was analyzing a video from a gentleman that was saying that people that don't believe in God are fools. I don't think he's going to convince anybody that the God of the Bible is real by calling people fools. And he made that video titled Scientific Proof That Obliterates Atheism, something like that. I saw the entire video, and there's no any proof. There's no scientific proof. It's just this nice gentleman preaching. If you didn't see my yesterday live stream from yesterday, take a look at it. I think it's interesting. Probably you will learn, not learn because I'm not teaching. You will get one or two things that I share with everybody about the way I think about gods. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask me, this is a live stream. You can ask me something, or you can provide a comment. I'll be happy to respond and give you my humble opinion. A few days ago, I called into probably, I think this is interesting. I called to a atheist program that is very well known with Matt Dillahunty, and I called him just because I was not in agreement with something he said about the vaccines, and something about what I wrote, probably my pronouns, which they require incredibly. And I put that my pronouns were Rico Suave. And the lady that took the phone call, she's like, what do you mean? Your pronouns? Is it he and he, his, or something like that? I'm like, no. My pronouns are Rico Suave. The lady stood quiet on the phone. She didn't know if I was joking or not, but I stayed very serious. Those are my pronouns. Rico Suave. And she's like, okay, so what's your subject? What do you want to talk to Matt about? I'm like, about vaccines. And Matt rejected my request to have a conversation about vaccines. Because if you know who Matt Dillahunty is, he's an atheist, very famous. He doesn't believe in God. And he requires evidence. So I wanted to talk to him about the evidence about the vaccine's efficacy. And I think it was just interesting that he rejected the request to have a conversation. So, hey, Ting Negro, hi. Hi again. You can ask me a question if you want. I'll be happy to respond. Only thing I request is just try to, as best as possible, to be respectful. I know sometimes we get emotional, but I don't think there's nothing here in this live stream that should get anyone upset or anything like that. Probably uncomfortable, yes, but not upset. Excuse me. So, proof for the God of the Bible, anything. Yesterday's video supposedly to be scientific proof for the God of the Bible. There was no scientific proof. It was just misinformation, preaching. Proof of the God of the Bible. One of the things that I noticed on that video in particular, that there is plenty of proof. I don't know where. It would have been nice if the person that made that video directed the viewer to where that evidence is, and he didn't. You can ask a question if you want. I'll be happy to respond. This is a conversation. And I also believe that I can do a video chat on the live streams in case someone wants to have a conversation. Just like I did the other day with someone that was also preaching. It was a very nice conversation. Just a conversation, not a debate. With this nice guy. I don't remember the name of the channel. Dulemi Tricotter, I think it was the name of the channel. It was nice. So Team Negro, Kayla, Fajardo, if you have a question, something you would like to ask, I'll be happy to answer or respond. Preferably, specifically about proof of God. If not, it doesn't have to be. I also like to hear about people's problems. Maybe I can give you my humble point of view about anything. I don't know it all. It's just trying to maybe help someone see another perspective about a problem that you might be having. I think some people just need someone to listen to them or give them a different perspective about a specific problem. So if you want to ask me about a specific problem that you might be having, I can give you some feedback. And again, probably a different perspective. Sometimes when we have problems, we close our minds. We don't see solutions. We see problems everywhere. It happens to me all the time. But I think it's better to be centered and balanced in the mind and the heart in order to find solutions to problems. I like to sometimes follow my own information. Just know that I don't give advice. I don't feel that I am not in the position to give advice to anybody. That's why I don't tell people, I try not to tell people, hey, don't believe in a God or don't believe in this particular God. Who am I to tell you what to believe in? It is just my opinion that humanity will be better off without God. Anytime that you hear someone telling you God is, or the God in the Bible, I think you're no longer expanding, you're not longer exploring, you're no longer moving, you're not longer trying to discover. You were told what God is, you accepted this emotional God, and you're done. That's it. You're not moving anymore. I would think that a God probably assigned to us a better, bigger, brighter goal than just trying to be safe. That's our goal here in earth. Try to be saved. It makes no sense to me. I think there's a bigger goal, and as long as we have our face down, reading on a book what God is, we're not looking up and trying to try to understand what He really wants from us, or if He wants something from us, or what is our purpose in life. I think the moment you grab the book and you start believing in the God of the book, you're no longer exploring, expanding humanity. I think if everybody on earth decided to believe in the God of the Bible, I don't know, probably humanity will go back 100 years. Because apart from not looking and not expanding as humanity, it's inevitable that people will take advantage of the information from the book for their own profit or their own advantage, because you can easily use the information from the Bible for abuse. It happens every day around the world. People using the Bible for their own benefit. I think a lot of people have found the emotional load associated with any God, and they take advantage of that. What to take advantage of? Of your energy. You give off of your energy to another person is in their advantage to take from your energy, because that energy can be translated to something else, like for example money. Probably in the case of YouTube, probably turns into views and then into money. That is one of the reasons why you see so many people talking about God of the Bible or any God, because, man, it's very profitable to talk about God. It can make you a lot of money. We have proof of that. There's people in the internet, in YouTube, I mean, it's just, to me, it's hilarious. People saying, oh, God revealed to me last night. He told me this and that. God told me this and that and that. And when you hear what God supposedly revealed to this person, or what God told this person something, it's just something that is so stupid, or, something with no value. So God communicated with this person, revealed something to this person that doesn't improve the life of anybody. Of just one person. The person saying that because probably he's going to get money from it. I think why people follow, there's one kid in YouTube, I'm not going to say names right now, I don't think it's necessary. He has a big, humongous audience. And pretty much, I would say 90 to 95% of everything that he said is just outrageously ridiculous. I think people watch it because there's emotional content in there. I think there's entertainment in what he's saying and talking about. But there's nothing really of value. Every time he puts a video out, he says, God revealed to me that this is going to happen. He revealed to me the future. What for? I don't know. It doesn't improve the life of anybody. So for me, he's just lying. He's just making stuff up. If you really analyze what he's saying, it's just pure nonsense. And you see the comments of people underneath the video saying, oh, that's my Lord. Oh, thank you for revealing God's word. I'm like, wow. I can see that there's a lot of people in need of something. People need to believe in something. I don't think you need to take it to the point that you're gonna lie to yourself. You know that the kid in the YouTube video, he's lying. But if you have emotional rewards, you don't want to go through the analyzing part, because probably you're going to ruin it. That's why I say in my videos that not believing in any particular God or being a doubter is a very lonely place to be in, because then there's no God. So I don't believe in anything. But at least I don't have to pretend. So there's a good part in it. When I used to be a believer, there was a lot of pretending. Pretending that God was real, pretending that God was there, pretending that God was doing good things for me. It was all just pretending. So if anybody has a question that want to ask me, have an open live stream that you can ask me a question, or provide me with just one piece of proof that the God of the Bible is real, that the God of the Bible is the one that created humans and created the universe. Just one piece. I'm not asking for too much. Something that is not like wishful thinking or believing by assumption. If you don't know what I mean by believing by assumption, there's people that say that we don't know, nobody can tell what the universe, how the universe came up to be. So it had to be the God of the Bible. You cannot explain how the universe came to be. You see, that explains God. Is believing by assumption, but still believing. You believe that the God of the Bible is the one that created the universe. It's still a belief. And no amount of believing in that particular God that you believe in is going to make the God real. So let's say that we wanted to convince 10 million people of God's existence, and you only have a few minutes to offer this millions of people of a piece of information that will convince them that the God of the Bible is real, alive, and the one that created the universe. What would you say? What would you say to these people? 10 million people. What do you think will convince them that the God of the Bible is real, alive, and the one that created the universe? You know, not necessarily here in the live stream. Probably, I don't know, there's no one listening right now live. But I noticed that people see the recorded live stream. If there's someone out there that watches this live stream recorded version and see me asking these questions, hey, how about, you provide proof of the God of the Bible, that the God is real, alive, and created the universe. Probably you can send a comment. Probably that comment will convert a lot of people if you have proof. That'll be nice. I think right now, having this live conversation about if God is real, God of the Bible is real or not, I think that gives believers that want to share the message of God an opportunity to convince people that the God is real. But you see, I put on my videos, I think a lot of people have watched my videos. They hear my questions, and some people just decide to respond with insults instead of just answering the specific question about God, something that we can analyze and have a conversation about. But no, some people get truly offended, upset, just because you're saying something not very nice about their particular God from their particular book that they decided to believe in. So I don't know exactly how I think it's here that you can see the chats. I think I'm looking at it right now. And I don't know if the counter of people in the chat is accurate or not, because it's always 0. I don't know. I see people that make comments and it reads concurrent viewers 0. I don't understand this too much. I'm pretty much learning how to use Streamlabs. Not very familiar with it, but so far I think it's nice software. I like it, and I'm understanding it a little bit more. There's an error that says please use a keyframe frequency, something like that. I have to check on that. I don't know if that creates problems for people to see the live stream. But yes, this is a live stream asking if someone out there has any proof for the God of the Bible that would help people to believe. For those believers that truly enjoyed to debate, I'm not into too much into that. I like to have conversations, not debates. Pretty much. Besides that, like I said on my videos, it's really hard to have a debate with someone that believes in a particular God. There's way too much emotion attached to the particular God, so you cannot have a rational, logical conversation with someone. It's extremely hard. Believe it or not, sometimes I like to hear debates about a Christian having a debate with a Muslim. I mean, you can hear the debate because it repeats every day. If you hear the debate, for example, on Monday, and you come back 1 week later, on Monday, they still discussing about the same thing or the same things and not making any progress. Because the Christian doesn't want to let go of the emotional attachment he has or she has with the God of the Bible. And the Muslim does not want to let go of those emotions attached to his God or his book or whatever. So it's interesting to see these debates. I think you learn a thing or two about people debating pretty much about nothing. It's just emotions going through the debates. So, proof of God of the Bible. Again, yesterday I analyzed and reviewed a video supposedly providing scientific information about proof of God. There was nothing in there. I saw another video of the same gentleman talking to Grok that I thought it was interesting in a negative way. Pretty much saying, you see, Grok thinks that there is a God, that the God of the Bible is real. Now, I think I already did a video analysis of this gentleman, and I think I provided enough information that he preaches in his videos. I don't think it's necessary to analyze 2 of his videos. Anyways, let me check what this error is. Keyframe frequency, something about, I don't know. Maybe something to do, I have no idea. I have to check on that. Hopefully it's not affecting the live stream. I don't think it is. I am live streaming on two different versions, horizontal and vertical, just in case. I noticed that on my previous live streams, people were writing, sending comments in the chat, and I was not looking at them because I didn't know that there was another separate chat on the vertical version of this live stream. So I think it's very interesting that I'm able to live stream on horizontal and vertical. I understand that there's people that watch my videos on TV. So I'll guess that they can see the live stream or the recorded live stream on the horizontal version that you can clearly see on TV. And then the vertical version that you can clearly see on your phone or device. Right now I have both live chats open so I can see if anybody writes a comment on the chat. I think I can see them. I can see right now that some people have sent some chat messages. I don't know if hopefully they heard my responses. I'm still new at this thing about making live streams, so I make some mistakes. I did some live streams before, but they were not good at all. I have problems with the audio, problems with the video, so I quit doing those. I didn't like it. So right now, I'm using a different software, which I understand more, which is Streamlabs desktop. But anyways, in case there's someone listening, this is live stream asking the question if someone out there has proof of the God of the Bible or any God in specific. If you believe in any God, if you have any proof, evidence that you can share with me and with people that the God that you believe in is real, alive, and created the universe. There are some other subjects that I talk about on my live streams. Recently, I talked about Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan interview with Nick Fuentes. I gave some of my analysis of their interview. I found it to be hilarious. Nick Fuentes, sometimes I'm in agreement with what he says and sometimes I'm not. I guess that's normal. Especially with a kid that I think is very smart, very eloquent, very young, has a lot of things to say, speaks a lot of truth, but then sometimes wipes it off a little bit with some of the comments that he says that I think are a little bit out there. Overall, I think I like a lot Nick Fuentes because I think he's pushing against some of the craziness going on in the USA. I also talk about UK, what's going on in UK, Ireland, some other countries. Just in case you have not heard, I also talk about a system for a new government that I can share with people that I think will resolve a lot of problems in every country right now. But that seems to be a subject that people are not very interested in, so I cannot force anybody to ask me questions about that. And I don't know how to provide that information to bring enough attention for a government to listen to this new system that will bring stability to a country. That's some of the subjects that I talk on my live streams. Again, this is a specific live stream, proof of the God of the Bible. Just seeing if anybody out there has any proof for the God of the Bible. You know, that image that you're watching right now in the background, I got it from an AI. Some of the stuff that AI does is just incredible. I think that image is beautiful. I just gave the AI a few instructions on what to do, on what to show, like a God in the sky, and that's one of the images that it showed me. And I think it was beautiful. The colors, and actually that's just like a cutout of the image, of the complete image. I think it's beautiful. There's another image that was produced by AI on one of my last live streams, and it's also very beautiful. I like the colors. You say, you tell AI something about God and it's going to create something beautiful. That's interesting. So, anybody out there that has proof of the God of the Bible, I'll be happy to hear it, analyze it. Not a closed mind, open mind. Have conversations, discussions about this subject that seems to carry a lot of emotions, the belief in God. Going back to that live stream that I was listening actually today, between a debate between a Christian and a Muslim. I started listening like early in the morning. I had to do things. I had to get to work and do stuff. Then in the afternoon, while having lunch, I listened to a little bit more. And they were pretty much discussing the same things. Never come to an agreement. I find that interesting. And these debaters, I mean, they seem to really, really get a kick out of these discussions. It doesn't matter if they don't agree at the end and they don't get anywhere. I think part of it is just feeling like important, like you are an authority in the subject, and you can push back on these people that think that his God is better than my God. It's a little bit crazy. Also, this some people that switch gods, shop around for a God, let go of their current God and switch to another God. You ask the person, hey, what made you make the switch? And the person start throwing dirt on the previous God. No, that God, I found that it was too violent, or I don't like it because he doesn't listen to my prayers, or whatever excuse you can come up with. Basically, it translates in human terms. That other God doesn't make me feel good, so I shop around for another God that made me feel good, and I found this one that makes me feel good and not the other one, so I'm using this one. That's why I say believing in God has nothing to do with believing in God and everything to do with your feelings. The God that feel good. You have no feelings toward the God that you believe in, that God disappears, goes away. It's not relevant anymore for you. Interesting enough, the God continues to be the same God, supposedly. You just don't believe in the God anymore. That's a little bit crazy. But again, when I asked some of these people that switch gods, hey, what's the reasoning behind the switching? Normally, sometimes the person doesn't respond. I think that could open or expose the person as just chopping around for another god. If you have a conversation with someone that believes in a particular god and you start guiding the conversation to the person's feelings, the person is really going to push back. People don't like that because someone could get exposed as you believe in just because the God feels good. Always an interesting subject. I myself used to believe a while back. I don't believe anymore. I'm actually a doubter. I really doubt that the God of the Bible is real. And if there's any other God, that'll be interesting to see if there's any proof of it, because at plain sight, I don't see it myself. And I don't celebrate that. That doesn't feel good. Oh, you see, I don't see God anywhere. Ah, ha, ha. No. Not believing in any God is a lonely place. Have you ever heard someone saying, hey, people has to believe in something? People have to believe in something. I agree. But not to the point of lying to yourself. Not to the point of pretending. It's too much weight on a human being to be pretending every day that the God is real. Time passes sometimes and you start losing your faith. You start doubting and you have to run to find something that validates your beliefs in that particular God. It's an awful place to be, because that doubt about the particular God that you believe in sometimes plays tricks on your mind and your feelings, to the point that people feel dirty, feel bad when you start doubting your God, like it used to happen to me a while back when I was a believer. Okay, it's been exactly 1 hour since I started this live stream. I don't think there's anybody watching right now, just like always. But people get to see this live stream after it. I can see on the YouTube studio that people do see these live streams, recorded live streams. And I also sometimes take some snippets, some shorts from the entire video, just to put out small messages that are less than 1 minute. Some people, I think, come to the recorded live stream just because they saw something of one of my shorts that caught their attention. So for anybody out there that take their time to watch my videos, to listen to what I have to say, I thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Again, I'm always open to having a conversation, a very respectful conversation. So nobody out there asking any questions or making any comments, I think I can close this live stream now without thanking you and wishing you a good day.